They dress the part and they look the part. But no, this isn't Texas. This is Masbate, land of the cattle and cowboys in the Philippines. Not that there aren't cowboys in other parts of the country, but this is where they converge every summer.
This is the only arena in the Philippines that was built specifically for the Rodeo Festival. So while there are many similar festivals all around the country, Masbate is considered the rodeo capital of the Philippines.
It's the Super Bowl, if you will, of Philippine rodeos. For 1 week each year, they let cows, cowboys, and cowgirls loose. It's a Western tradition virtually unheard of in Asia. But Rodeo Masbateño has only gotten bigger and bigger. Just a short drive away from the arena, past Masbate's rural communities, are seemingly endless rolling hills. A little like New Zealand, but the cattle is homegrown. So are its cowboys.
So what was it like growing up, looking at this expanse and looking at all these cows and all these cattle ranches?
Well, when I was young, I dreamed of owning a ranch. And after 10 years of marriage, I was able to buy this ranch through hardship.
All 750 hectares of this and 450 heads of cattle are Manuel Cese's, a prominent local judge, when not wearing his cowboy hat.
So when you were younger, how big was the cattle industry here in Masbate?
Well, the cattle industry at that time, based on our record, was about 75,000 heads of cattle in the province of Masbate.
More than the population?
That was because in 1897 we have 300, as I said, 300,000 hectares with a population of 27,000 people.
Wow.
But sometime in 1992 to 1996, it went down to 35,000 the cattle population.
It was a looming economic crisis. Masbate's rancheros had to save the industry.
How important is the cattle industry here in Masbate to the people here, to
It
the
is
province, to the
very,
economy of the province?
it's very important. That's the livelihood that they have learned, And another thing, if you go around the province of Masbate, the topography of the land, it's rolling hills. It is not suited for rice, it is not suited for sugar, but it is really suited for grazing land.
First order of the day, making Masbate's cattle industry known to the rest of the country and the world. What better way, they thought, than to hold a rodeo festival? Rodeo Masbateño was born. That was more than 20 years ago. Today, under the leadership of Manuel Cese, it is the Philippines and Asia's premier rodeo event.
Malalaki yung premium nila dito. Oh, so yun ang magaling sa Masbate.
Meet Kenneth Ramonal, king of Philippine rodeo, and his team from the southern Philippines, Team Libona. Can he retain the title this year?
Yung team namin, siya yung siya ang founder ng rodeo dito sa Masbate.
This is Jerry Espinosa and his team, Team Rancho Cuervo Verde, one of the very first teams that competed in Masbate's Rodeo Festival. And this year, the only team in the professional division from the host city.
Yung rodeo, hindi lang po siya pang lalaki. Kahit babae ka, kung talagang may tiwala ka sa sarili at sa mga kasama mo, talagang magagawa mo yung laro.
And meet the powerhouse women's team from Xavier University, ex-Rodeo, competing in the student division. First up, the king. He chases the calf, throws the lasso, And no, he misses. He goes for it again. This time he gets it in, but the bull gets away. He now has one final chance. He catches the bull and pins it down.
Ano ho yung sikreto? Bakit ho kayo laging nananalo? Bakit ho kayo laging champion?
Practice lang, sir. Una, practice. Saka paniniwala sa may kapal. At saka, ang rodeo kasi hindi pwede na pag may laro, saka ka na mag-practice. Talagang doon sa amin, every Saturday, papasok yung mga baka, so maglaso-laso.
Kenneth does it all right, but it was far from the 5-time champion's best. He still has other chances to redeem himself though, and his teammates are no pushovers. So are Jerry Espinosa's Cowboys. Jerry himself isn't taking part in most events this year, but he leads and mentors a team raring to claim a hometown victory.
Sisikapin namin na mag-champion na kami ngayon. Kasi matagal-tagal na rin. 2 years na kaming wala nakukuha. Pero andyan din, pang-3, pang-4 ang standing namin.
Paano ho kayo nag-training?
Kung anong events dyan, kinukuha namin ang records dyan. Tapos yun ang sinusubukan talaga namin na i-break. Yung dating records ng mga champion. Oras dyan man lang ang kalaban mo. Kung maganda dyan talaga, kung makisama yung baka, yun ang maganda.
That's exactly the challenge though, isn't it? Rodeo Masbateño isn't for the faint-hearted. This year, organizers have pumped even more adrenaline into the show by adding bronco riding to the roster of events. So now participants have to be able to ride wild horses and wild bulls.
Baka yung kalaban mo. Dapat marunong kang magtingin kung saan pupunta yung baka. Hindi talaga yung tao.
Talagang unsafe ho ang pag-rodeo.
Basta't may sungay. Di ba?
And they all seem to agree on what scares and challenges them the most.
4-person karambola.
Karambula.
Karambola.
This wild cattle chase where 2 cowboy teams vie to be the first to bring down and tie a cow is a crowd favorite. Despite the risks, the girls of Xavier University say it's theirs too.
My favorite event po is yung 4 women karambola. Kasi talagang kailangan yung focus mo dun eh. Tapos yung physical, masyado siyang physical na laro.
Physical is an understatement. Death-defying is more like it. Imagine pinning down an animal several times their size with only their bare hands. They get dragged, they get sideswiped, and ooh, they can get charged a la Pamplona like Kim here.
And you got kicked.
Hindi mo alam kasi marami sa isa ay kasi dalawa kayong team sa loob. Tsaka di mo na alam kung baka may matamaan ka ng baka kaya ganun parang di mo alam kung baka malidiskasya ka dyan sa loob.
It's a miracle how Kim emerged almost without a scratch. The girls say it's all about technique.
Meron yang buta sa nila sa ilong na pang-control sa kanila. Tapos kung gagamitin mo siya sa rodeo, magagamit mo yung paghawak mo sa ilong nila.
Science po yan, hindi lang basta strength po.
Science? What makes it a science?
Yung anatomy po ng leg ng baka po, ganun talaga, twist mo, may angle po na binabasihan po para matumba yung baka po.
That's serious stuff. Little wonder then that they emerged the big winner in the female students division. Jerry's team managed to win a few events, but Kenneth's team was still top in the professional division. Kenneth had to pass his crown to a teammate. It was a dangerously thrilling but rewarding week for both players and spectators. Yet, these guys risked life and limb just doing their job.
Those guys over there, they're called cowhands. They're the equivalent of rodeo clowns in Texas. Now, if you think that it's risky for players, these guys have to battle it out with each and every cow that goes in and out of this arena.
That was about as close as I got to some of the wildest bulls in the Philippines. Close enough to see why animal rights activists may raise objections over how cattle are handled in rodeo events. The Philippines Rodeo Kings answer to that
Yung ginagawa natin diyan sa loob ng arena, yun ang ginagawa doon sa rancho talaga. Oh, yung hinuhuli yung baka, hindi mo yan ma-brand. Malagyan ng brand yung tatak mo, yung patik, ang tato. Kung hindi mo hulihin, at saka hindi mo itumba. Yun talaga, practice yun. Pag may sugat, paano mo gagamutin pag hindi mo matumba?
Unlike rodeo in the West, which has evolved into a sporting event of sorts, Masbate's version reflects the practices of its cattle industry, as well as the Philippines' festival culture. From street parades to dance competitions, and of course, a beauty pageant, Rodeo Masbateño is definitely a Filipino fair.
It was originally conceived solely for the development of cattle industry. But I feel the growth is faster on the side of